talk now about trade, because President Trump is saying that he would be open to an interim trade deal with China, even though, of course, he would prefer a full deal. Now, the president was asked about an interim deal yesterday after Bloomberg initially reported that the administration was considering an interim deal. Then CNBC refuted that and said the administration was saying it wasn't considering such a thing. Now, speaking to reporters yesterday, Trump did say he's open to that.
If we're going to do the deal, let's get it done. A lot of people are talking about, and I see a lot of analysts are saying an interim deal, meaning we'll do pieces of it, the easy ones first. But there's no easy or hard. There's a deal or there's not a deal. But it's something we would consider, I guess.
Well, he said he would consider it. That is the key part. And of course, those comments came as China has exempted some U.S. imports from its own tariffs. Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman is here with more. Rick, what do you think?
Well,
interim deal.
You know, he said, I guess we would consider it, I guess.
Right.
I mean, that sort of tells you, how well thought out this whole trade policy is. I mean, Trump is figuring this out as he goes along. I think that's pretty obvious. So what this seems to be a tacit acknowledgement that, yes, the trade war is hurting the U.S. economy, which is slowing down. Tariffs are starting to get passed on to consumers. Manufacturing activity is slowing. And Trump seems to be acknowledging, yeah, this could damage my re-election odds. So maybe if China came up with something appealing, we could call it an interim trade deal.
But wouldn't an interim trade deal, while not the best idea, at least be a movement forward, and essentially in a trade war where we've seen almost no movement at all?
I guess. To quote President Trump, I guess. Define interim trade deal. We have no idea what this would look like. So would they agree to, some small measures that are not that hard for China to agree to, which might be things like giving U.S. businesses a little more entree to the Chinese economy? And they could do that. That would not hurt China, and it would not be embarrassing for China. But what would Trump give in return? I mean, what China has said they want in return is take all those tariffs off. So would Trump do that? I just don't know. The challenge for Trump is he would have to make it look like he accomplished something without caving in. Because if he just kind of, if there's just some cosmetic improvement, Trump has already rejected that. He did that in the spring. He could have had sort of a cosmetic trade deal that he could say, look, I got a trade deal, whether there was any substance to it or not. He chose not to do that in the spring. So he would open himself up to criticism, I think. Markets would probably be relieved if they just put all this on hold until the election. And if the thinking here is let's have an interim deal until November 2020 in the election, then you have to say, well, what the heck comes after the election? Is Trump will he then cause the U.S. recession by doubling or tripling the tariffs? Is his thinking that he can really raise the pain on Americans through tariffs once he's reelected? I mean, that's pretty weird. I just don't know.
Rick, what's going to happen with those additional tariffs that are supposed to go into effect December 15th?
Well, they're on the table for now, but as we've seen, Trump can call them on, call them off, raise them, lower them. I mean, he's done this all at the last minute. And of course, there was another tariff increase supposed to go into effect October 1st. He has now pushed that to October 15th. And we have to point out that this is all up to one guy. I mean, Congress doesn't have a role. Trump can listen to his advisors or not listen to his advisors. It's kind of astonishing that the way this works is one guy can decide the day before. He can decide 1 minute before the tariffs are supposed to go into effect and say, I changed my mind. So anything can happen. Those December 15 tariffs are notable, though, because that would be a major escalation. He would be putting tariffs on a big set of consumer goods that include smartphones and electronics. He would be doing it 10 days before Christmas. He said before, there's a Christmas gift. We're going to wait until December 15th to impose these tariffs, as if nobody does Christmas shopping between December 15th and December 25th. Right. So I think that at a minimum, will probably get pushed to January 1st or maybe December 26th.
Right after.
I don't know, but my guess is those will not go into effect as advertised on December 15th.
No way. We'll see it slide again. All right, Rick, thanks so much.
Thanks.